Motherhood, the scariest hood you will go through, where the babies are bullies and the significant others are a bonus child. The struggle is definitely real in these streets. Hey, mamas, welcome to Let Mama Live. This is episode 3. I am so excited that we're pushing through. I'm learning something, I'm having fun, and I hope you are enjoying too. I am Jen Pittman, mama of 2, mama of boys, mama of a toddler, and an autism mama, and I am here to share with you struggles that I have when it comes to motherhood, and hope that you can relate, and hope that I can educate and empower you to overcome challenges when it comes to stress in motherhood. Make sure you're improving your mental health, and make sure you're doing one thing: celebrating the joy in this struggle that we call motherhood. Because I know, y'all, the struggle is definitely real. And even though as a public health educator and as a certified health coach, I help mothers overcome their challenges with stress, does not mean I don't have my own challenges. So this gives me a platform to be candid with you and hopefully use my pain to empower you to get through your struggles and let you know that you are not alone. I am so excited to be with you here for episode 3. And I have a special guest that is going to be checking in during our Escaping Reality segment. If you are new to the podcast, be sure to press pause and go listen to our introductory episode so you can know the different segments that we have, and you'll be able to follow along as we go through each one. So we're going to move on to our first segment. That is our mama moment. I want to encourage you, mamas, to not put a period where you should put a comma. And you know what? I think what I'm going to do is make this a combination of a mama moment and a confession, because confessions of a mama for those who are new, because this is my moment to educate you with this tip, and this is my moment to share with you the challenge that I had with this same tip. So don't put a period where you should put a comma. There are moments that knock you down. And we've talked before how you have to be resilient when those moments come. But sometimes it's just kind of hard to be that strong. We have to find our strength in something else. For me, it's in Jesus Christ, because I am a follower and a believer of Jesus Christ. We have to find our strength somewhere else to get back on our feet. And sometimes when we have been knocked down, it's like everything stops for us. I mean, motherhood can't stop because we always have to be a mother. So the actions of being a mom does not stop. But mentally, it's like everything just halts. It stops. And when everything stops, nothing gets done. You become lost in the routine of being a mom. You become lost in the routine of living life. And when that happens, you are further away from accomplishing your goals and being where you want to be as a mama. And so I want to encourage you to take those moments to be intentional about putting a comma instead of a period in that space. Don't stop what you're doing. Try your best not to stop what you have going on in life. Try your best not to stop thinking about living life to its fullest mentally and acting and behaving in the way that you're living life to its fullest. Continue to do the things that you want to do in life as you're going through the trial, as you're going through the struggle. Because guess what? Struggles are inevitable. We're always going to have a struggle. It's not going to stop. You're going to overcome a struggle, and then another one is going to come, and it's like a crazy roller coaster. It's a cycle that you never get out of. But when you learn how to overcome it, when you learn how to put a comma in the place instead of a period, Lord, the doors of opportunity will open up. The doors of gratitude will open up. The doors of blessings will open up because you chose to continue to work through that struggle. You chose to continue to have faith through that struggle, and you chose not to stop, not to give up, not to feel defeated, not to have worries, not to have doubt, and not to have fear. You're working through, you pushing through, and you're having faith, and you're trusting in God that everything is going to be okay. When that happens, you know that you are living life to the fullest. So mamas, remember, do not put a period where you should put a comma. We have a guest for our Escaping Reality segment. We have my niece, Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hey.
And y'all may have heard Jordan's name before because in our second episode, we had Jordan's mom, my sister, Jessica, come and give tips to single mothers about raising children or raising a child up until the age of 18. I had her on because raising a child to the age of 18 is something that I've never experienced, and I know that there are other moms that never experienced it, especially as a single parent. And so I wanted her to come on and kind of chat, and she had a lot of great things to say about you. Nothing but good things, of course, because there ain't much bad stuff to say about you. But I want you to take some time to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Jordan. I just graduated from West Charlotte High School. I think I was like 12th in my class. I'll be heading to the illustrious North Carolina
All right now.
Fall. I'll be majoring in sports science and fitness management, and I'm very excited to go. In high school, I was on varsity all 4 years. I was captain of the cheerleading team my 12th grade year. I was on student council. I was historian for student council. What else? I won senior princess for homecoming. I participated in the Delta debutante. I did a lot of things. I was all over the place.
Yeah, and you had competition cheer?
Yeah, I was in All-Stars and competitive cheerleading. I cheered at Cheer Extreme All-Stars at the Charlotte location. My team won NCAA. We went to Dallas and won NCAA, which was a very big deal.
What do you hope to do after you graduate from college?
I really enjoy cheer, and I enjoy like sports a lot. So I want to do something physical and like something that I know I'd love to do. So I want to be a physical trainer in the NFL, or my all-time goal is to work for NASA and prepare astronauts to go into space. Ever since I was little, I always wanted to be an astronaut. And then once I got older, I kind of realized my strengths and weaknesses, and I just found a loophole, and just now I have what I like to do, and then where I've always wanted to work at.
That's cool. So you were able to put both of your pretty much passions together, or both of your desires together, to come up with a career field where it benefited both areas. So what I wanted to do, and when I invited Jordan on, I thought about my business, Love Life, Live Life Health Education Services. We provide services to mothers, teen girls, and future mothers to help them overcome stress and help them improve their mental health. And so Jordan was a wonderful addition to this episode because, as I said, we serve teen girls. We have a health and personal development program called Level Up, and it's done one-on-one and it's done as a group. And Jordan has participated in Level Up before. I've come to her school, and she was a part of the group that I did Level Up for. And so I felt like this was a good opportunity, especially with us going back to school. Jordan would be going back to school early August. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity to have a conversation about school, a conversation about stress when it comes to teen girls, and to give some tips to mamas. So we're not straying too far away from our target. We're still going to give some tips to mamas from the mouth of a teenager. We want you to know what they think. We want you to know what advice that you can give them to help them push through. Right, Jordan?
Yes.
So we're going to start with having Jordan share with us some things about high school. So if you have a teenage daughter that is either currently in high school, or moving from middle school to high school, or moving from high school to college, this may be a good time to let her listen in to what Jordan has to say, to see if she can relate, or see if Jordan maybe has some gems to drop for her. So we're going to start with having Jordan explain her experience in high school.
Okay, well, so I guess I'll start from 9th grade. So going in from 8th grade to ninth grade, well, the middle school that I went to, it was a IB middle school. Like the whole entire school was IB. So it was what is that? International Baccalaureate.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that right. And that's what my middle school was. So going to West Charlotte, it was already my home school, so I was going there regardless. But I was in the IB program, so my experience was a little bit different. But ninth and 10th grade was pretty like normal. But besides the point, so going into ninth grade, it was new for me. Of course, it was new for me because, I mean, you're going into high school. It's completely different from middle school. But it was new for me saying that I knew absolutely no one at my school. So since I didn't know anybody, it was kind of not really hard to adjust because I'm very open and I like to talk to new people and I like meeting new people. So that wasn't a big deal. And then saying that I tried out for cheer over the summer and I was blessed enough to make varsity, I knew a lot of the older girls, but saying that it was only me and another freshman on the team, we didn't have any classes with the upperclassmen. But
so how did you meet your first person? I don't know if you want to call them a friend or whoever, but how did you meet your first friend when you went into high school?
So when I went, it was actually kind of funny. So like when I guess it's funny, but when I got to school the first day, luckily like my mom and dad, since like everybody in our family went there, they were like walking me around, like showing me the classes and stuff. So the first class I had was biomedical science, and we sat in there, whatever. She called names. So like the first encounter I had with one of like my longtime friends now was she called roll, and like we had the same first name, and so she was like Jordan, and we are both like here, look at each other like what. And so that was it wasn't really like the start of the friendship, but it was my first encounter. But once the class was over with, this girl, can I say her name?
First name.
But yeah. So her name, Kiana, she was talking to the teacher, and the teacher was like, does anybody like mind walking her to the next class? So we looked at the schedule, and we had the same classes. So I walked her to our next class, which was, I think, history. And, so, like I said before, since I was in the IB program, all of us really had the same classes with each other. But then they started like mixing us in with the honors kids. But we all had the same classes, and we all like there was always somebody who was in your class before that was in the next class, and it was like majority of the class. But that was the first person I met, and then like I think it was like a couple of like months later, she told me, she was like, I actually knew exactly where I was going. I just didn't want to go alone.
So that was her way of being sneaky and trying to meet somebody.
Yeah, she was like, I was like, yeah, I'll take you, girl. Like we were just walking and talking, and I mean, like we were close because we didn't know anybody. Like we didn't know anybody at school either. But then, like as years went by, we found like our own little group of friends. But we still had classes together. We're so cordial, and we still like interact over Twitter and stuff.
Yeah. So just to clarify, like, okay, so she said Jordan graduated from West Charlotte High School, and pretty much our entire family graduated from West Charlotte High School, minus a few. So we're very proud that Jordan is now a graduate of West Charlotte High School. But at West Charlotte, you have, and Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, you have the IB program, and then you have a traditional program. And so the IB students take certain classes separate from the traditional students, right?
Yes.
So both of these girls that you met were both in the IB program?
They were both in the IB program.
They were both in the IB program. It just so happened that you and Jordan had the same name, and the other young lady wanted to find somebody to help her out around campus, and y'all ended up being friends. What tips would you give to someone who is new going into high school and they don't know anyone at their high school? What tips would you have for them to find some friend to just connect to?
Well, the first thing I would do was like realize, like kind of state like what kind of person you are, because I'm very like outgoing. I'll talk to anybody, but like if you're like, you have to know like whether like what kind of person you are. Like, are you outgoing? Are you shy? Like once you like get that, then like from there, I would just I would just sit beside somebody that looks friendly, and just kind of like start conversation with them, like how I usually do it, like all the time with anybody I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like say if like the teacher says something, like I'll kind of like think aloud, and I'll be like, dang, like it's cold in here or something, and then like the person beside me will be like, yeah, it is cold in here. And like we just start conversation from there. Or I'll usually just ask like, what middle school did you come from?
It's a lesson for adults and for teens. Like sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone. Like
Oh yeah.
you are open and you're able to make small talk with people, but then you have people who are similar to me. When I was your age, I was nothing like that. I was very, very, very introverted and scary. And I was so scared my freshman year. So, and I have those challenges sometimes when I am an adult, as an adult. So I think that's one tip too. You have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Sometimes you got to do things that are uncomfortable to put you in a comfortable situation. You get what I'm saying? Or a comfortable position.
And then people knew me saying that I cheered and stuff, so people knew my face.
So that's another tip. So not only do you need to step out of your comfort zone and find at least one person that you can kind of stick to when you first get there, but being involved in school kind of helps break the ice for you. So you being a cheerleader, people knew who you were because they saw your face, and then you met the girls who you cheered with, and it opened the door for opportunities for you to meet other people.
Yeah, that helped a lot. So being involved is like a really big thing. And you might not, I got lucky enough to be involved before school started, but like as soon as school starts, like you'll have like those couple of weeks, and then they'll start introducing like over the intercom. Well, like for my school, they did over intercom. I'm pretty sure other schools are more organized than my school is. So like they'll probably have like stuff posted around the school, and I just join something. If you're gonna do something, join something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be sports. It can be like a club, an academic club, or something. Just join something, y'all. So you went through your freshman year. You transitioned from middle school into high school. You went through your freshman year, you're a cheerleader, you're meeting people, and now let's say maybe you're in your second year, which you may consider like the last half of the first part of high school, right?
Oh yeah.
How were things for you?
Freshman and sophomore year were pretty much the same. The only thing was different was since you know people, you'll get to know people about the end of your freshman year, but like sophomore year, people start getting comfortable. Yeah. And that's when like, the drama starts.
Yes, okay. Okay. I'm glad you point that out. So as the time goes, it's like y'all are getting comfortable with each other, and people are talking junk behind people's back and this and that. All that stuff starts.
Relationships start. That's when like I had my first relationship, because I didn't know him beforehand, but like you just start getting comfortable, and people start, because like you use that first year to get to know people and know how they move and maneuver and stuff like that. And then 10th grade, you just kind of dip and dabble in it a lot, and you start having crushes, and you're liking people, and then like drama and high school stuff.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So how did you balance? Like, did you have a hard time starting the balance being a cheerleader and being social in your schoolwork when it came to your freshman and sophomore year? Because you were doing your schoolwork, you were cheering at school, you were cheering outside of school.
So I would go to school at 7:15, 2:15, and then have practice from like 4 to like 6. Well, no, I lied. From like maybe 3 to I think it'd be like 3 to 6, and then on Mondays I'd have to leave early because I had my other practice at 5:30 to 7:30, and then right after that practice, I had to stay at the gym for my second practice from 7:30 to 9:30. Basically 7:30 until, because we never get out on 9:30, and so we get out at like maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then have to drive back home, 45-minute drive back home. So I'd be getting home pretty late, and luckily I didn't really have much work to do, but like if I did, I'd have to do work, get ready for school the next day. Sometimes wake back up in the morning and finish my work. So I would definitely say like start, especially if you're like doing stuff like you're active in and outside of school. Do
Mm-hmm.
it as soon as they give it to you. I'm like the world's biggest procrastinator,
Yeah.
so I do that. But I suggest everybody and their mom to get on it as soon as it's given to you. That way, like you don't have to worry about it. I actually did it one time in ninth grade. I wrote an Alexander the Great paper like a week early, and that was probably like the best feeling ever. But I never did it again. But
Yeah.
it felt good to already have it done. But I really handled it pretty well. I mean, my school coach was pretty understanding of it, saying that like, and then she was pretty proud, so she didn't really care. So she was like, "Oh yeah, you're regardless you're cheering." So she didn't really make a big deal out of it. But
But
yeah, it
that
wasn't that hard.
but you offered another tip there. So let's stop and kind of touch on that. Like procrastination is something else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're involved in so many things and you have to balance your schoolwork, which is the most important thing. I'm saying that as an adult. I don't know how you feel as a teen, but it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you're sacrificing your time because like you said, you had to stay up late. Sometimes you had to wake up early so that you could finish your work, and you have to make sure that you're not procrastinating. And that's if you're involved in things or if you're not.
Yeah,
Procrastination is
that's
one of those things
regardless.
that'll get you off track. So it's a good skill to learn. Well, a good skill to overcome
Uh huh.
now or early.
Because I myself, I have like I have no, let my mom tell it, I have no time management. And like, I do and I don't. Like, it all, I do when when I have something planned and if it's something that I want to do, like, I'll have it really planned out, because it's like what you want to do. But you still have to, I'm the type of person, like, if I don't have to be somewhere till like 1:30, I'm still at the house 1:15 getting ready, and you got to get in the car and go to the place to be there on time. So I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
But you have to realize, like, I love to cheer. Like, All Star cheer was my thing. Like, I love to do All Star cheer. So like, I had to sacrifice sleep and my sanity for All Star cheer because I did. That's what I love to do. Even not even saying with cheer, like people play basketball,
Mm-hmm.
do like AU or like travel volleyball and just
Track.
other stuff you have out of
Mm-hmm.
school. So you just have to, if you're gonna sacrifice something, you have to be willing to not have enough time to do stuff and realize like how much time you have in your day to do homework. And if it's not a lot of time to do homework, then you need to do that early.
So
You can say,
you have to have that time management. You have to make sure you're not procrastinating, and you make sure you have to make sure that you're on top of your grades. The way Jordan explained high school, she broke it up into two different phases. So you have like the first phase, which is pretty much like your freshman and your sophomore year, and then you have your second phase, which is your junior and your senior year. So let's move on to our junior and senior year. What tips do you have for our younger high school teens that are transitioning from sophomore year into junior and senior year? So that transitioning from that first half of high school into the second half of high school.
so to all the listeners out there,
Oh.
11th grade was hard. It was very hard. 11th grade was pretty hard because then, ninth and 10th grade, you keep that same mentality. It's not that hard. Ninth and 10th grade wasn't that hard at all. It was really like the same thing, and like when I went to 11th grade, the first part of it, it was like first quarter, it was pretty fine. Like I wasn't really okay. So 11th grade was harder for me because that's when the IB program actually kicked in. I'd have like maybe 11 kids in my class. Like it was only like a good, I think it was like 30 or something of us in 11th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fine first quarter. I mean, it was still kind of it was a lot saying that I had 8 classes. So I had 4 A-Day, 4 and B-Day, 4 different ones on B-Day. And it was different. It was real different. But it was fine for like first quarter, second quarter, it was fine. And then trying to keep up with all 8 classes. So like get a planner, get a planner, because I didn't have a planner, and I'm that type of person that likes to remember stuff off the top of their head, and I'm pretty good at it until like until you're doing like a paper, you're doing like one homework assignment you remember, and you totally forget about another one, and you get to class, you done went all 4 of your class, all 3 of your classes, and had the homework. You get to your 4th class and you forget you got math homework. So I'd write everything down, write stuff down, and I'm taking advice from myself.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here thinking about that. But that's a great tip, to get organized and get a planner. We have to laugh because Jordan she's right. She struggled with keeping track of her assignments.
Yes.
And her mom and I were both like, Jordan, just use your planner. Jordan, go to your teacher and find out what your assignments are. If you missed it, if you didn't hear it, like go back and find a way to get organized. And Jordan just was being a teenager and she didn't want to listen. So I'm proud of you, Jordan, for realizing the mistakes that you made when you were in high school, and I hope that you're carrying those lessons on to college when you start in August.
I can remember that I have homework tomorrow. It's just like, am I gonna do it is a question. But like, I remember that I have homework, but sometimes you might not remember everything about the homework.
Yeah.
So like, you might not remember like she'll be like, okay, we I'm gonna give y'all an essay today, and then like you you might remember the topic, but you might not remember. She said like 3 examples of this, 4 examples of that. So like, write it down. If you don't write it down, take a picture of it. That was my thing. Like, my whole gallery, nothing but pictures of the board. I say write it down, but this generation, we're always on our phone.
That's a good tip. Taking
hands.
A picture of it.
If you don't want to write it down because you get lazy, take a picture of it and put it in your favorites. Put a little heart or put it in its own little folder. That's what I started to do. I wasn't putting it in folders, but like, I would take a picture of literally everything, especially like if you didn't have, because in high school they like to tell you stuff like when it's like 5 minutes left in class. So like, you don't have time to write it down. And like, luckily my teachers weren't so big on like being late, but you might have different teachers and you might not have time to write it down because you already done packed up. Take a picture of it, but then make sure you write it down at a certain point, because they say it's like you have a high percentage of remembering it if you write it down. So
all right now,
write your stuff down. Do that. Write your stuff down.
I'm guilty. Many people don't know, but I started my career as a high school science teacher, and I was guilty of losing track of time, and then the bell ring and I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all do your homework, have it due tomorrow, and then you come back the next day and none of them kids had their homework done, and you're just like, what happened? But it was all my fault because I waited to the last minute. But Jordan, I am smiling on the other end of this phone. If you had me on FaceTime, you would see a big smile on my face because I am so proud of you. Yes. All right, so your junior year, your classes were smaller. The work started to get a little bit more harder or more complicated. May not have been more harder, but maybe a little bit more complicated. They added some extra stuff in there. And you realized that, you had to kind of change your behavior, meaning you had to get a little bit more organized in order to be more successful your junior year. So that was junior year. What about senior year, your last year of high school?
Senior year. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't like senior year, but that was my experience at my school with my issues. But senior year, so like when we were in junior year, so the program got smaller because people started dropping out of the program. So we ended up with 20 from like 30 something of us, it was like 23 of us in the IB program, which is real small. Saying like if you were at East Mick, it's like 100 something, like a couple hundred or so. See, like in junior year with the IB program, you had finals, so you had to take like whatever your teacher gave you as a final, you had to take that. But like 12th grade, we took like how they take like EOCs. We took a standardized test like that from the IB program people. So like once you took your finals or whatever, summer happened, of course. So for me, I had psychology. I started on my psychology work 2 weeks before it was due.
What? Procrastination.
It was a lot. I would not recommend that for anybody. Do your summer work. At least start on it early. At least start on it before August comes. Start on. If you got summer work, start on it. You don't got to do the whole thing. Start on some of it. Shoot, do even one. I didn't even do one. So do summer work. Try to like space it out. You could do like one every day. Whatever you have, just do some of it before it. It's another big thing. Create bonds with your teachers because they will look out.
Absolutely. That's another big tip. So make sure you know your teachers and make sure they know you well. Make sure you leave a great impression. Because, and I think I've told Jordan a few times, like, if your teachers see you and they see that you're trying and that you're working hard, they're going to be more willing to help you than if you're, like, in school joking off or not doing your work or being late, being lazy, having an attitude. They're not going to want to help you.
Because I had it both. Like, my senior year, this was, like, my only time I've ever had it like this. My history teacher, we weren't ever on the same page, and it was just he wasn't a very good teacher, and it was bad because I like history. I really do like history, and like I even thought about like majoring in history or getting something like a minor or something in history. So like I really enjoy learning history. But that was my new teacher for 12th grade year. My bad. My old one from 11th grade, he left, so we got a new history teacher, and we didn't have a bond with him at all. And so and then he came in, like the way he came in and tried to start teaching the class, it was just all wrong. If he just started off on the right foot and like started coming, like introducing himself to us differently, we could have been totally different. It would have went a whole opposite way. But me and him were never like, he still looked out for me in a sense he looked out for me only because like from the kindness of his heart, I feel like, and only because like I was like nagging him, like I used to nag like at him when it came from like to crunch time, and I knew only reason why I do is because I knew like my mom was on my case. But me and him were really that close, so like I wasn't really doing well in his class. But like my psychology teacher, me and her were very close. Like she used to like call, like she talked to my mom all the time, and we were super close. And like sometimes like like drama gets in the way, and sometimes that sadly it affects you in school sometimes, and it just kind of messes with your mental, and you just be all off the edge, all everywhere. And that's how I was at a certain point, and she saw it, she recognized it, and she said something to me. And of course she said something when my grades started slipping. Like I was like failing her class, and I was like, I never fail her class. I was always either I had a B, like I always had like a B or like maybe a C, but it wasn't like low C. So she saw it, and like I wasn't turning in work. It was just a lot going on, and she saw that that was happening to me, and she said something, and she was like, "Hey, turn this in." She like gave me a list. She was like, "Turn this in, and like say if I like didn't turn it in, she'll be like, Jordan, like where it said like I need you to turn in." So like I used to stay in during lunch. I used to stay in her class and like do the work, or I stay after school with her. Either way, I would get it in. But if you're close with your teachers, like they'll look out for you. They'll let you turn. I'm not gonna say let you turn it in whenever, but like if you need time, they'll give you time. And if they see, like she knew me from 11th grade, and she knew that wasn't like me. Yeah. And so like she understood. But right. Like, if you like don't go around like trying to use your teachers, like that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But you build a bond with your teachers, and they'll look out for you.
So Jordan, you to lay some foundation, you mentioned something that your senior year you had a challenging time and you were failing your class, and so let's touch a little bit on that, okay? You know, you did well up until around your 12th grade year and you had some challenges. And you said that it was a little bit of drama going on. You stopped doing your work, and then next thing you know, you were failing a class or maybe multiple classes.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were having a hard time. What did you go through?
Well, like, okay, like, started off, I was straight. Starting off, like, first and second quarter, I was fine. Third quarter, I had 8 classes again, but technically only 7 because I was in a study hall since I took philosophy my junior year, and I didn't have to take it in. Like, I didn't have any other class to take. So, so those were a lot. Okay, and only, like, one of my classes had, like, an actual set, like, he had, like, when you walked in his class, even junior year, but like beginning of senior year, you walked in his class and he literally had a date throughout the whole year from like September all the way to June as to when everything was supposed to be due and like the deadlines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
other
more
than
like
that, like,
college.
yeah, like he had everything set out to where it'd be due. So like if it was due like today's the 23rd, he'd be like, okay, due on the 23rd, but you know, like try to have it done on the 23rd, but then you still have like a little period where you can like fix it, tweak it, whatever you need to do to it. Because of course he's gonna make the due date before the actual like turn in date, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was just a lot. I was at school every day after school. Well, I had cheer, but then I wouldn't come to practice until I was done with like staying after class with my teacher or whoever I was staying after class with. And then I had to go to like student council meetings. That wasn't really a big hassle, but like I sometimes I miss meetings, you know, because like I had more important things to do, like schoolwork or whatever. But if you're more committed to it than I was, like you'd have to go to those meetings or whatever meetings you got to do. You know, I was in like a relationship, so that was another big thing. And then like people like trying to get in between that, so I was dealing with boy girl drama, whatever. That took a big toll on me. And then cheer wasn't a big thing, but like cheer was really like my safe haven. But then you know sometimes you get like annoyed at practice, you know, and it was just a lot. And my mom would be like on my case about like work, and I mean you'd be on my case, but like not in a bad way, but you know like it was just a lot, and it was kind of like I couldn't escape it, and so like since I couldn't get away from it, it was kind of like I had to just like soak in the moment. It was like not what I wanted to do, and it felt like I couldn't break away from my problem that I was having.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, I'm not like a sad person. Like I hate being mad. I can deal with being sad. Like I hate being mad. I just hate being like in a real like awkward. Like I wasn't myself, and so like I had to go to school and like everything was okay, and like in my head I'm like everything is not okay. Like
Yeah.
like everything's on fire in my head, and then like outside I'm just like yep, everything's fine. Like good little smiles and rainbows and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
Jordan had that time where she was going through things, but she was holding everything in and she wasn't releasing it, and it eventually got to you, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't express my emotions, and I've always been like that. And like I've always like worked with it, but like 12th grade was a lot for me. So that was my problem.
So how did you overcome that?
I overcame it by passing English and walking the stage while graduating.
Right, that's what I say. Well, did you ever overcome it? You overcame it when you got done with school. It was like push through, get done with this. I passed my English class, now I can graduate. And I think it's expected to have like senioritis when you get around, you know, the last few months of school. So
senioritis is real.
Yeah, you keep your grades up the first, second, and third quarter, then you'll have space to have that senioritis moment during your last quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, senioritis is real. I had senioritis junior year. Like, senioritis.
You had junioritis.
Yes, especially like once I knew it was kind of over, I was like, I just want to be a senior, like, and you just be like, it's just like you already like as soon as you start like first day of school, it's like I'm graduating. Like, you know what? Like, I don't need school. Like, I'm graduating. Like, you can't tell me nothing. And then you just be like, I don't even want to do this. Like, what am I doing this for? Because I'm gonna graduate. Yeah, it's okay to have it because everybody's gonna get it. But like, you can't let that. That was my big thing. I'm like, senioritis. I ain't got to do nothing. Like,
Yeah.
anything like that. You got to do something.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you got coming up in college. You got college coming up. You going to North Carolina A&T State University. How do you feel?
Okay, so going to school. I'm pretty pumped. Like I was talking to my friend today, because some of my friends aren't going off to school; they're staying in school and going to the local community college, and like some people were saying like they're not ready to go off. And me and my friend, I was talking to my friend today, and I'm like, nobody's ready to go off to college. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's if you ask me, that's not a thing. Like you're never like nobody's ready to go to college because you never have been to college, so you're not gonna know what you're like what you expect. I'm ready, but like I'm nobody's never ready to go to college, and so I'll think about it like all. Of course, I think about it all the time because I'm about to leave in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I am so excited about, and you know this, I'm excited about you going to college because college was like the best 4.5 years of my life. Like, if I could go back right now, I would, you know? So I want you to go and I want you to enjoy. I want you to make good decisions. I want you to take all the lessons that you just mentioned for our listeners. I want you to take all those lessons on with you and just excel. And like you said, if you get there and it's not for you, then it's not for you. And you
Yeah.
know how we roll. We just gonna bring your butt home. So, because you ain't wasting no money. So if that
Yeah.
ain't for you, you bring your butt home, and then we'll figure out where to go next. I want to end this conversation about school, with you maybe giving some advice to mothers, our mamas that are listening. What advice can you give them to help their teen daughters get through high school and on to college, or on to something, on to excel outside of high school, whether it's community college, 4-year college, a job, whatever it may be?
So like for freshmen, just ask them like how to go, like you meet friends or whatever, and if they need help, they'll ask you like how do I meet friends? I guess they would ask you.
I would hope they would. Some don't
Yeah,
though. You'd be
yeah,
surprised how many teens don't go and talk to their parents, or they don't have the relationship like that to talk to their moms. But I
yeah,
understand what you're saying. I will hope that, so you're saying moms should give their daughters some space, first of
yeah.
all, to
Like
kind
once you
of.
get in high school, like going from middle school, like my mom would kind of like go through my phone and stuff, and then like you want to be at the end of the day like you're still a child, and you have to like be on them and stuff like that. But I was the type of kid, I don't do nothing. I go to school and I go to cheer. Like I was never like the type of person to be like out and about, so I wasn't really doing anything. Well, I wasn't doing anything, so like she didn't have to worry about that. But I wouldn't like be like, because like even though like we're only like 14 going into high school, like at a certain point like you do have like privacy, I guess, and like you just don't want to be on them, because then they'll kind of at a certain point like they'll start to like push you away, and they'll start like not want to be like bothered, because it's kind of like you don't have like you're not like letting me like breathe in a type of way. But
Mm-hmm.
then at the same time, like you do need to be like kind of like on them asking questions, like
Yeah.
whether it comes to school, like friendships, like who knows, like sexual activity,
Mm-hmm.
just like they'll come to you, they'll say something, and like if you sense it, just kind of like maybe hint at it, but you don't want to like boom, like like kind of
Yeah.
come hard on them with it, because they'll probably lie and be like no, like
Yeah. You want to ease
they
into
won't
those
want to be open
conversations.
about it.
Yeah.
And then not just being willing to help. So like my mom was willing to help do like work and stuff. Not do it for me, but like help with me doing it. or whatever. Like, say if I was at practice and I'm like, hey, I gotta read these like pages or something, she'll kind of like skim over and be like, so this was talking about this, and like, you know, we do it together, and like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like you don't want to like baby your daughter and like do everything for her, you know, but like be willing to help her, because it's gonna be different. It's, of course, it's gonna be different, especially going like from middle school to high school. You know, they say they're not like, the teacher's not gonna baby you anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you do have some who, well, for me, high school, they like still babied us, so it wasn't like that big of a deal. But not all high schools are the same, so you like be willing to help them with their work, because it's gonna be different, and they're gonna have way more, way more like freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, way more freedom. So like their teachers aren't gonna be, you know, you don't have to walk in a straight line to lunch anymore. Like you don't have to do a lot of the stuff you did in middle school. And like teachers were always on the case in middle school, and now teachers just let you go about your business. Like, you got beef with a girl, that ain't the teacher's fault, you know. So you're just like really like kind of to start on your own. So I just, if for moms, I'd be willing to help your daughter, you know, do work, willing to help her, just willing to help her in general. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but like be on her, but don't be all up in her girl.
Yeah,
You know,
don't be
like
a helicopter mom. You ever heard of that term, a
yeah,
helicopter mom? Like, don't be
like
hovering over her.
a smotherer.
Yeah, don't smother her. Don't be hovering over her. Maybe give her some space. Allow her to
Yes,
make her own mistakes. Build a relationship or a rapport with her so that she will be willing and open to come to you and talk to you about the things that she is going through. And
yeah,
I
because
think
like
another
a lot
tip
of
too
people.
that I think your mom tried with you was to listen. Just listen. You know,
Oh
you don't
yeah.
always have to fuss, you don't always have to yell, you don't always have to fight, you don't always have to push, but sometimes you have to just stop and listen.
Yes, I said that for me. That was because I mean, me and my mom, like I was cool 9th, 10th, 11th, but like 12th grade, I was really going through it, and like me and her were like going through it too, because it was like with me, it was like her problem was just like my grades and stuff, but like at the same time, since she kind of was like on me so much, I wasn't willing to tell her about the situation, because I didn't want to like, you know, add on to it, and I just wasn't like, I just didn't really want to talk about it, you know, and it was kind of like I didn't want to be forced to talk about it either. So it was just a lot going on, and like I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, sometimes I don't want tech support. I want a shoulder and an ear. I want a shoulder crown and an ear for somebody to listen. I don't want tech support, you know.
Yeah.
That's what it was for
Tech
me.
support.
That was my whole thing. I'm like, I don't want nobody telling me what I should do. Like, I don't want nobody to, you know, like people will be trying to treat me. I don't want you to treat me. I just want you to listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I ask for you to for your advice or whatever I ask you, then you can give it to me.
Yeah.
You know, but if I'm asking you, then I don't. And I'm not gonna say it like that, but you know, like I just need you to listen. That's all I
Mm-hmm.
need you to do is just listen to what I'm saying. And that's a lie I say for like a lot of moms. Like, just listen to what she's saying, and like. And then another thing is like they have to figure stuff out on their own. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't like don't get involved in none of that school drama. Don't get involved. But like my mom was kind of like, she was the type of person like, don't post this, like, you know. And I was never the person. I'm never the type of person that like, posts on social media a lot and like get all up in that. But don't get involved in their drama. Let them figure it out on their own. If you need to get involved, then get involved. But if you don't need to, and it's just something a little petty, let them figure it out. Because if you don't, then it's just gonna get bad towards as she goes on, because she won't know like how to handle it herself. Because how I started handling myself, like I'm too grown to be arguing with y'all, and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm only 18. I was only what 16, 17, you know. But in my head, I'm too grown to be arguing with y'all, and I done learned that from arguing with y'all previously.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, they'll learn and they'll get that mentality. And then like my mom would tell me that stuff, but she wasn't in the drama, you know. Like, she was around it. Like, she was kind of like around the circle. She was in the perimeter, but I was in the area. So like she wouldn't get into the whole like into the mix. But she knew about it, and she knew about what I told her. But then at the same time, like I was saying before, you don't want to like be so into Like, you want to build a relationship to where, like, I could tell. See, I told my mom about it kind of late, but, like, if you build that relationship with your daughter, she will tell you, like, when it happens, you know?
Yeah.
Because this, like, a lot of my friends, I know a lot of people are, like, best friends with their mom. I mean, like, me and my mom are cool, but, like, I didn't tell her, like, when it happened because I just wanted to, like, let it cool down, you know?
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't. A smother isn't good, especially when she's in high school and she's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't. You just want a privacy.
So, Jordan, on here we have a segment called Escaping Reality. And that is our opportunity as mothers to escape our reality and jump into the reality of celebrities, mothers in pop culture, period. It doesn't have to be in a certain genre. It can be actresses, it can be singers, or whatever. And so we're going to do Escaping Reality, but we're going to mix it up a little bit, and it's going to have a little bit of a teen focus to it, but still kind of stay on the course of the focus, the topic, right? And so since we are talking about college and you going to North Carolina A&T State University, honey, we talk about this show Grownish and how much we both enjoy that show Grownish. That's like one of my favorite shows on TV, I think. I'm missing Grownish. Like, I need it to come back.
Yeah. I don't know when it's coming back, but I really like that show. And I didn't watch Blackish. I didn't watch that, but I don't even know why I started watching Grownish. I honestly think I was bored one day and I saw it on. Well, I saw it like on demand. I was like, let me start watching this, and then I just like never stopped. So.
Yeah. So the person who you like, the character that you like on Grownish is Zoey, right? Is that her name, Zoey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like Zoey. What do you like about Zoey? Do you admire Zoey the character, or do you like Yara Shahidi? Is that her name? Yara Shahidi is the actress that plays Zoey on Blackish and on Grownish.
I think I like her character because it's Yara. But I don't know.
Yeah, so that means you admire her. So you like her, you like following her, and she being
Yara.
in that character kind of makes you want to watch the TV show.
Yeah, I like Yara. But then I didn't even know. I'm not gonna say I didn't know who she was, but like I knew of her. Like I knew like a little bit about her, not really, but I knew she was also like Blackish. I didn't really know her like that, but then like once I knew the Luca boy who was on there. I followed him like some years ago, so I knew he was on there. And so once I started watching the show, that's when I started like liking Yara a lot, and I like the way, because the way she dresses on the show is like, I was watching like interviews and stuff, and she was just like Zoey is basically like her.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Because I think is she my age? Or
yeah, she's 20. I think she's your age, actually. I think she's 18.
Yeah.
I saw an interview recently with Oprah Winfrey. They were at the Apollo, and she was 17, and her birthday was coming up. She was turning 18 soon, and they sung happy birthday to her. So yeah, she should be 18, the same age as you.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. I thought she was my age. Because I don't think she was saying like she hasn't, because she did a gap year.
Yeah.
And she did a gap year, but she's going to Harvard.
Right, so she's going to Harvard. For the listeners, I have to kind of clarify things, but she's going to Harvard, and she took a gap year, so she's taking a year off, and then she's going to Harvard, and that is really cool. She's very intelligent.
Yeah, must be.
She's very smart. She's like an intellectual. Like when I was watching her interview, I was actually shocked as an adult. I'm like, she talks more. I mean, she seems more intellectual than I am, and I'm 35 years old. This girl up here talking like she's daggone 40 or something. What is it about her that you like?
What I like about her, the first thing that comes to my eye about her is the way she dresses. I love the way she dresses. She's like my style and stuff. If I had money, I don't even need money to dress like that, but like, if I had the money that I wanted to have, I would dress literally just like her. Like, if I could buy everything she has, like, I would buy literally everything she has and wear the same outfits and everything. If I could.
Yeah, I like the show. And I think I've texted you a few times like, "Oh, you need to watch this," because it's a very realistic depiction of what college is like. Like they had the kids drinking alcohol, and we knew they weren't 21 in the show. You know, the characters
Yeah.
weren't 21, but they were like drinking alcohol, and they were talking about breakups, and they were just real. It was just real, that's really how it was. Yeah, we did some things that we shouldn't have done at the age that we were, and they really did show that on the show. So I really like the show Grownish. And if
Yeah.
you haven't seen Grownish and you're listening, you really should see it. And it's a really good show for your teenager, your teen daughter to watch, especially if she's in high school and expecting or planning to go to college. It's like the modern day A Different World. Do you watch A Different World? Y'all, you'll be surprised that Jordan listens to like old school music that we listen to at her age. She listens to now. So, have you ever watched A Different World? Okay.
Absolutely.
So Grownish is like a modern day A Different World. And when we used to watch A Different World when we were younger, it kind of encouraged us to go to college. Like we were like, "Oh, I want to go to college to be like this character or that character, or I want to pledge a sorority or a fraternity," because all the like, the extras in the shows had their like letters on and stuff like that. And it's like, man, it made it so cool.
AKAs on here.
Yeah, like they had AKAs on. They had deltas on there. They had all. I think they had all of the. I mean, not Sigma Gamma Rose weren't on there, but they had pretty much all of the Divine Nine on there, and then they had their made up sororities and fraternities.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan of the show, but like I never caught it. Like I was always watching like Living Single and stuff like that, but I wasn't. If it was on, like I would watch it, but I didn't watch it a lot. But like I watched it enough, and I saw AKs, and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm like, because I knew they like advertised, but then a different thing, like back in the day, they would advertise like going to black universities, like HBCUs and stuff, on television more than they do now. I mean, they don't really do it at all on TV now.
That was the only time they did it then. That was that. That's why it was so groundbreaking, because we never really saw African American colleges or HBCUs or even an African American family like the Cosby Show, because A Different World was a spinoff from the Cosby Show. So seeing shows like the Cosby Show where you have this affluent African American family, and then then their daughter goes off to college and turns into a different world, like that was the only thing we saw that was like that. And I think that's why we were so drawn to it.
And then you'll be like watching Martin or something one day, and I remember Gina had on Tisha Campbell had on a Morgan State University shirt on.
And she's also a soror of Delta Sigma Theta.
Oh, I didn't know she
was. She is. She's a Delta. Yeah, so I really like Grownish, and I really encourage you guys who are listening to get your children to watch Grownish and A Different World. Go back on Netflix. I can binge watch A Different World over and over and over and over again. I'm addicted to A Different World. I like A Different World, but watch both.
Go watch it.
So moving on to another conversation, we wanted to talk a little bit about Kylie Jenner. And Kylie Jenner is a mom. She's a mama. I don't know if you would consider her a teen mom. I would, because she's not 21 yet. She's a teen mom, and she's been in the news lately because she was on the cover of Forbes magazine as she could possibly become the youngest billionaire, the youngest, what they call a self-made billionaire. And so the drama exploded when they used the term. It was so many things that kind of made people feel a little off about Kylie Jenner being the first potential billionaire, not first, but the youngest potential billionaire, because they said that she was self-made. So a lot of people are like, no, you're not really self-made. You were already known because you grew up on this, show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and your sisters were popular. Yeah, her mom helped them. Her brother, even though he's not like that popular anymore, he was really popular. And so some people didn't consider that self-made. And then some people thought that she was kind of like biting the culture of African Americans because of her lip kits. So she made her money on these things called lip kits. And I never bought a lip kit before, but from my understanding, you have like a lip liner, a lip gloss, you have all the accessories needed to make, put lipstick on or whatever on your lips. And the style that she used is to overdraw your lips. So when you overdraw your lips, it makes your lips look very full. And that is a common feature on African Americans. We have full lips. And some people are like, okay, well, she did that to kind of mimic what we have. Like, she's trying to be like us in a sense. But the thing, too, is that she has lip fillers in her lips. And, I don't know these technical terms, but she has lip fillers in her lips. So she plumped her lips up to look very, very full. And then you're selling these lip kits to make people believe that if you buy a lip kit and put it on your lips will look like hers. So what are your thoughts about Kylie Jenner being the youngest potential billionaire, self-made billionaire from her lip kits?
So to start off, I love Kylie Jenner. I like Kylie Jenner. My only thing was like, so I knew like for Forbes, so like they actually tried to get Rihanna to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they tried to get Rihanna to do it, and the dude who was like, because I guess a recruiter. I don't really know what to call him. I guess like somebody who worked for Forbes was trying to get in contact with Rihanna because she has her Fenty Beauty or whatever.
Yeah.
They were trying to get in contact with her for like months or whatever. They put their receipts and stuff on Shade Room. But they were trying to get in contact with her, but like it never fell through because he couldn't do it. So I guess they ended up going with Kylie. So that was my whole thing, because I was like, well, I mean, at least they had like an actual like self-made, because like Rihanna. Well, yeah, like Rihanna started off. We're from Barbados, so she was an actual like self-made person.
Right.
So I was like, you can't really be mad at Forbes because they tried, like they got to eat for effort, but like it didn't really fall through. But
some people feel like and I've heard this in interviews, like people talking about it and stuff. Some people feel like Kylie is self-made because she took the platform Keeping Up with the Kardashian and made money off of it. Found a way to make money off of it.
I feel like the whole issue is people's definition of self-made. Like, you have, like, because you do have people who are like, who can I? Okay, so for some reason, the first person that popped in my head was Jamie Lynn Spears. So,
now who is she? Explain who she is.
So Jamie Lynn is that's Britney Spears' sister.
Okay.
Like her little sister. So she had the old show Zoey 101.
Oh yeah, on Nickelodeon or Disney.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. So that's her little sister. Her little sister had her own show. So I mean, I guess her little sister was. So Britney Spears, of course, she's like a singer or whatever she is. So she's a singer or whatever. And her little sister kind of just having the last name Spears is like like. You're already connected with it. So her sister had her own, like, she was an actor, and of course you're gonna get put on because like your sister is Britney Spears, but she took that, had her own show from it. So she ended up getting pregnant, the show got canceled, but like I don't know, so she's not like rich and famous like how she like you know, like some people just because like they're like come from like a rich place, like you know,
Yeah.
they're not still like rich and famous.
Yeah, so
But
that's a
I feel like
situation
so
where she had a famous sister, she had a famous last name, and you're saying like, well, just because you have this famous foundation does not mean you're gonna be rich like Kylie Jenner.
yeah, but like it's you have two. There's like a what is it a denotation and a connotation of self-made. So
Uh-huh.
like you have the dictionary type, and it's kind of like you would think. I don't know. So I have like I don't know. I guess like I'm biased on it because self-made, like how Rihanna's self-made, like that self-made starting from like
Starting from the bottom, now you're here.
starting from like you the acorn, you built the tree.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner was they already
The
had the
tree
tree,
was
but she
already
was the
there.
orange.
Yeah.
She was the orange that came off the tree.
Right.
So she was self-made off of something that was already built.
Right.
But Rihanna built herself up. That was a good analogy.
Oh, that was, girl. You did that.
That's a good analogy. But I don't know because I mean like Kylie, people talk down on them, but like they know how to make their money and they know how to work with it. And I mean, yes, she was famous off of her. She was famous off of like her. Well, her dad was famous, I guess, but
she really got famous off of her sister. Let's be real. Kim Kardashian was the one.
And her mom and stuff.
Yeah.
Being related to the Kardashian last name or whatever. But I think she's self-made in a sense because, I mean, you took what you had because she could have just took what she had and been doing regular schmegular stuff like she had been doing all her life.
Yeah.
And,
that's true.
Like, she was regular, like, not, like, regular, but, you know, like, going to school. She was on a cheer team and stuff, like, doing normal stuff, like, going about her business, spending her inherited money. But then once she got, like, her lips done, because I really like Kylie Jenner because I've been a follower of her since I was, like, 12.
Yeah.
And only because she was around, like, her.
Wow, so 12. So that was, what, 6 years ago?
Yeah, she was around. So her and her sister were around. I'm like obsessed with Jaden, and you know, like they used to date. So that's when I started started following her and like knowing stuff about her around that age.
Okay, so she used to date Jaden Smith, who is Will Smith's son, and because you really, really like Jaden Smith, you started in turn following Kylie.
Yeah, I started following her, and then. You know, and I just ended up keeping up with her because I mean, even like usually if they would have like broke up, I would have just dropped her and kept it moving. But like I liked her, so I kind of kept up with the stuff she was doing. But she had always talked about like I was a fan, so like I used to watch stuff, and she used to always talk about like her lips and how she didn't like them. So when she did that, and she was saying like she wouldn't like wear anything, like she didn't like wearing lipsticks and stuff, like because she was like basically she said herself like I didn't have any lips, so like and I was insecure about them. So once she got her lips done, and I guess since she got her lips done and she felt comfortable enough to wear like lipstick or whatever, she just embraced the fact and like made her own cosmetic line. And the lip liner started it all, like the lip gloss and lipstick or whatever, that started off. But then she branched off into having like more cosmetics. So she had the Kai liner, like the Kai shadow.
She got stuff for your eyes as well.
Yeah, she has like blush, highlighter, eyeshadow, lip liners.
Oh
lip
wow,
gloss,
I didn't know that.
Lipsticks, like she has a lot. So like that was another thing. Like she started branching off, and then she actually got her fillers removed. Like,
you know, I saw that. So she got her fillers removed, and I've been trying to look at pictures and see if I could tell the difference, and I really can't. Like her top lip, you can tell in her top lip. But her bottom lip still is a little fuller than what it was. I don't know how that works. If it goes back to normal or if it's stretched out a little bit or what.
Once you take it out, like it's still gonna so once you take it out, it's still like swollen or whatever. But like I know so I don't know about her. Like I don't know about her in particular, but I know like some people like okay, so one girl, I think she's from like Teen Mom or something like that. She
Oh
was
yeah,
getting hers.
Kale. That oh no,
Fair.
the Abra the what's the girl that got kicked off?
I think her daughter name is like Fair or something
Yeah,
like
her
that.
name is Farah.
Yeah,
Her name is
yeah.
Farah. Yeah.
And so I know she was getting hers removed. So like what it was saying, like basically like you know like you have what water or whatever like in your lips or whatever.
Uh huh.
So I think it was kind of like you don't want like the lip fillers to like absorb like too much water, and then like they'll just kind of like go places they're not supposed to go. Something in that area. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
don't know why she took them out. I think
Why
I don't know.
Kylie
I
took him
guess she
out?
took like some of them. I don't know if she took them all out or what, but I don't know. I couldn't really speak on her having lip fillers because I mean, if you want to do that, that's you. But like,
That's true,
I
but I think
yeah,
people were
I
kind of
like
like she was kind of when she got the lip. Well, I think, and I'm not okay. I'm not well versed in Kardashian stuff. I mean, I'm not like a follower of the Kardashians. I did watch the show for a while, and then I was over them after a while. When they started to get extremely famous, it kind of got annoying, and it was like, well, why are people like all over them for what? Like I didn't understand it, you know. And then it was starting to get over like I was starting to get feel oversaturated. It was like they were everywhere. And it's like, okay,
yeah.
I've had a little too much of them, so I just stopped watching the TV show because I was
Yeah,
really
thank
over
God like
watching
that
them.
because I didn't know that I used to like I didn't really like now that I'm older like I remember when I was younger like I would watch them like you
Mhm.
know how like it used to be like Kim and Courtney Take Miami and stuff like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
or
They had
whoever
like
it
the
was
spin-off
like I used
shows.
to see that but like wouldn't even know like I was watching it. But like now
Oh,
it's kind of it really just started off like I guess once like you know Kim married Kanye and then like you know he got the Yeezy line and then once one got big like once Kim started doing her stuff and started like modeling and stuff like one was like hey you doing this so I'm finna do it and then you know everybody was just like
yeah. It
hey
was
we
like a
finna
snowball
get big
effect.
and then the world just couldn't resist it you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, with Kylie on the show, she got her lip fillers, right? So she got her lips done. She said on the show that she was insecure. But I think the thing that threw people off is that she was hiding it from everyone else. So when people noticed that her lips had got plumped, she didn't say, oh, well, I
Yeah,
did this
that's a
because I
fact.
was insecure about it. She kind of kept it on the low. So I think that kind of rubbed people the wrong way, and it came off as if she was trying to copy people and then play as if it was real, as if it's natural. You know, oh,
Yeah.
this is natural, and then next thing you know, you're making lipsticks and stuff like that, and having people think that they can get natural lips the way that you say you have them just by buying your lip kits. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
I mean, no, I'm just saying that that's what some people saw. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's
I
what
don't
I agree
know.
with. I honestly don't really think
Yeah.
much about it. But I did when they said she was close to being a billionaire because she was self made. I admit I did kind of like question that. Like, well, is she really self made? But like you said,
Yeah.
it's depending on your definition of self made. And everyone, especially through life, your life experiences, everyone has their definition for what self made is.
Like if you realize it, like even say if I like became like a millionaire, God please, but you
I
know,
know,
like say
right?
if I became
Praise
a
him.
millionaire, at the end of the day, I ain't self-made because like I got something from my parents. Like you know, I don't feel like anybody's self-made, and you might not get a lot, but you got something from somebody. Like you ain't just grow up with nothing and absolutely nothing, and all of a sudden you got something. Like
Yeah,
you got something from somebody. So
right.
like you might have
It could have been an
like
opportunity, not a dollar, but you got an opportunity from somebody
yeah.
that started you
Some
off.
nobody's self made. Like somebody got
Mm,
something from somewhere. Like
yeah,
to me, that's how I
yeah,
see it.
I agree. I agree.
But
I
I'm
never
like
thought about
I
that,
think
but
she
I agree.
like my whole thing is work smarter, not harder. So she worked smarter. You know, she was already had her money, and she just added to her money.
Right.
And like with Rihanna, on the other hand, I mean, her voice blessed her enough to make money. And then she worked smarter, not harder. You know, she wasn't putting out music, so she was like, you know, I'm finna put some makeup out.
Yeah.
And people love Rihanna, so they gonna buy whatever Rihanna was having. And then, you know, she worked with Puma, so she was being smart too, like the same way Kylie was being smart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she couldn't really help that she grew up famous. So, like, you know, you already got money, so, like, why not make more? And
Yeah.
then, you know, that's like saying Rihanna should only stick to music. Why? There's so much money out here to make. Like,
But
but
you know what fascinates me, and I think I don't know if I'm going off topic, but what fascinates me about Kylie Jenner, and we talk a lot about, mental health, that's my focus, mental health, what I want to kind of touch on.
yeah,
I watched her show when she had her own show, her own spinoff show, and
yeah,
it was interesting to me to see that she suffers from anxiety. And I was kind of confused. I'm not knocking what anybody is going through. Whatever your struggle is, that's your struggle. I know the struggle is real, so whatever. But I was kind of confused because I'm like, okay, you suffer from anxiety from all the attention that you get, but you put yourself in a position to be the focus of attention. So wouldn't you kind of like back out of the spotlight? Like what she did when she found out she was pregnant, she wasn't in the spotlight. She was kind of out of the spotlight until she had the baby, pretty much.
uh-huh.
You know, I don't understand. I didn't understand that. I'm like, well, what wouldn't you take yourself out of the spotlight because of your anxiety, or would you put yourself
Of her,
in the
like, being,
spotlight?
like, why would you have your own show? And like,
Yeah, like not even that. I think it's mainly like Instagram or Tumblr or whatever platform she's on. It's like, okay, you constantly take pictures of yourself and put yourself out there to be judged, even though you don't want to be judged, but you're putting yourself out there to be judged. But at the same, on the flip side, you have anxiety about what people think about you and the attention that you get. But you're putting yourself out there to get attention. I'm just confused.
for her, because I've heard her say it before, and like I just try to put myself in the situation, because like my whole thing is, I sound like such like a stan. I really like her, but I'm saying for like celebrities all over, and it's kind of like some people. I try to put myself in that position because I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, they're still like people. And so, like, I'm like, of course they're gonna have problems or whatever. But like, she was basically saying, like, if I'm a fan of somebody, like, if I'm a fan, I'm gonna want to see them. And then, like, when I don't see stuff by them, like, I get kind of like, I'm like, why haven't I? You know, like when Beyonce don't post, and you like, why you ain't posting Beyonce? Like,
Yeah.
okay. Like, you know, like what you hiding, like what you doing.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was when she wasn't like posting like during her pregnancy. But like when you said it, just reminded me of Drake. He was like, I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding. What did he say?
I was hiding the world from my kid.
Yeah, he was like, when he said that. So when I watched her little like, it was kind of like a mini documentary, and she was just basically saying like, because she knew people was gonna judge her, like the fact that she had a baby.
Yeah.
And it kind of like it's like mind-boggling to me, because I'm like, that's pretty normal. I was like saying that like how old she is. I'm like, that's literally stuff like that happens on a day-to-day basis. Like even younger people like having babies.
Sure, your mama had you around that age.
Yeah, and so I'm like, that's pretty normal. I was like, but it's different saying that like she's famous, and then like people expect like the impossible from like famous people. I don't know. I think it's just us as people how we don't understand because we're not like, you know, famous and we're not being watched 24/7.
Yeah.
But no, but I personally think she did like does that just like for her fans, because she knows how people get when they don't like get stuff from like the people that they really like admire and stuff, because that's how I am. Like if I like my like I like the people that I'm fans of, if they don't like post and stuff, like I'm like I get like kind of worried, and I'm like, well, you know, like why aren't you posting anything? And so I think she just did it for the fans and stuff, and just even though she wasn't enjoying it, I feel like she just did it for the sake of us fans.
Yeah, and I can understand that, especially with her being almost a billionaire. It's like the her fans and her followers are who made her who she is.
Yeah,
Because
it's
if
kind
you
of like
think
she owes
about,
it. Like she feels like she owes it to.
yeah, she owes it to them, and you think about like I was watching something or reading something or listening to something. I can't remember what it was. I think I was listening, and they talking about her sister Kim Kardashian, and they were saying how she just put out like a perfume or something and
Yeah,
made like $1 million or something like that in a matter of 24 hours. And I'm
yeah,
like,
that's.
what? So her followers made her, so why not continue to post stuff in order to appease your followers?
Yeah. And now that I think about it, like I'm probably thinking like that's probably why she didn't continue with her show. Maybe because she just like
She didn't like the attention.
yeah, maybe she just yeah. That's what I'm getting at.
Either
What
that or
like
she
we're
was
talking about
pregnant
it.
and she didn't want nobody to know.
Yeah. That was another thing. Because I mean, eventually she's gonna have to like say something. Just like Drake went this long and like.
But Drake wouldn't have,
Eventually.
I don't know, that's another conversation. I'm about to say Drake
Yeah.
wouldn't have said anything if Pusha T didn't say anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But
Even
like
though they say
eventually
that his
stuff
shoe
comes
line
out.
or something was going to come out and then he would have said something. But I
But
don't know.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, she probably. I feel like she just does it for the fans and stuff. Because I mean, like, it didn't expect. Like, I feel like she does a lot of things for the fans because she could have just came. I mean, people knew she was pregnant, but like, people knew, but people didn't have receipts until they started like people like paparazzi started like putting out pictures and stuff like that.
Well,
But
you know
like,
what? She had, when I noticed it, they had put out a Calvin Klein ad.
and
And
she had her
in the
stomach
ad,
covered.
she had her stomach covered, and the rest of the sisters had their stomach showing. And I was like, okay, yeah, she's clearly pregnant because why? Like, she's a Kardashian
Yeah,
Jenner. Like, she would have definitely been showing off her body, in
yeah,
this picture. Yeah, she
yeah.
had her stuff. So that's when I noticed it. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah, that was yeah. That was one thing, and then like, but at the same time, like you still like like, cause cause I don't know, we knew, but like we didn't know, cause like what if after the like line happened, like God forbid, she could have had like a miscarriage, she didn't want to
Yeah,
like. You just never know. So I guess she didn't want to say anything until like she had to have like a healthy baby or whatever.
that's true. Or
So
she probably, like we said before, she didn't want to be judged. I mean, look at her brother. Her brother, when he gained all his weight from, his depression or whatever he was going through, he went into hiding too. So,
yeah,
you never
yeah,
know. Maybe she just had one of those moments. So, she's the only one who knows her truth.
yeah.
We're
But
just
I
making
feel like she
assumptions.
does a lot for events because, like, I mean, when she announced her pregnancy, like that, because I remember, it's so weird. I remember like where I was at when like when I found out, like I was on the way back to Charlotte from Maryland, and she like released the video of like her pregnancy and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I mean, if she didn't care about like what people like about like her fans and stuff, like I feel like she wouldn't have
She
like
wouldn't have posted that.
did that. Like she took the extra mile to do that rather than just like, yep, Stormy's here, like I'm pregnant.
Yeah, yeah. But some
Instead,
people
she,
do things to be liked and approved of by their fans and followers. And I really think she kind of hit the nail on the head with that when she's making sure that y'all know what she was going through and what she was facing. So, kudos to Kylie Jenner and all her billions. I wish I had billions, child. I'm trying, little Jordan. That's our goals. Okay, hashtag goals. We're trying to be millionaires and billionaires and self-made at that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Not millionaires and billionaires from working on somebody's job, but because of stuff that we made and done for ourselves. You get what I'm saying? And not only am I trying to make money, but I'm also trying to help other people overcome their challenges. So I'm like, hey, kudos to you, girl.
shout
Well,
out to Kylie, what's her name? Kylie Kristen Jenner.
is that her name, Chad? You're her fan. You're her follower or fan or whatever you want to call yourself. So
Yeah.
you know all of that. But okay, so Jordan, thank you for joining me on Let Mama Live and giving us tips for teenagers going through high school and on to college or something greater, and their parents, their mothers in particular, their mothers who are guiding them and walking them through the process. I appreciate your time, and I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. That was pretty. I like that.
That was cool, huh?
Yeah, I like talking, so.
Yep, see, that's why, okay, you're next. We're going to get you a podcast going. Thank you guys for listening to Let Mama Live, episode 3. The podcast, I'm having so much fun with it. I'm glad that I'm able to incorporate my family in this. Maybe one day I can get my husband to join in. We'll see how that goes. But I'm glad that my sister last episode joined in and Jordan this episode. And it feels good. It feels great. I'm going to keep going, guys. Whether I have 1 listener or 1,000,000 listeners, I'm going to be on these airwaves, and I hope that you join me. So in the meantime, continue to be bold, be confident, and be courageous. Remember, those are affirmations for you to push through, to help you get through those hard times. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am bold, I am confident, I am courageous. Stand in it, believe in it, and work as if you're standing in it. I need to be able to see that when I see you. Continue to be bold, be confident, and be courageous. And keep grinding, y'all, because we know this struggle is definitely real. The Let Mama Live podcast is sponsored by The Blackout Photography. Check out his work on Instagram at snapgame or online at www.theblackoutphotography, that's THE, blackoutphotography.com. Thank you for your support.